I thought people would honestly donate more. And I thought a lot of people, because we have over 217,000 fans on our Facebook
Yeah.
page,
Yeah.
which is extremely amazing. And honestly, that's like flattering and like crazy. And I never thought that would happen for us at all. Like I remember jumping for joy when I had 700 fans. So I'm like 217,000 is a lot. I'm sure it's even more now. But I mean, when I moved to North Carolina, I moved for the dogs, you know, because in California we had a smaller like track home and we didn't have a huge yard and we basically ran everything with fosters, but we just couldn't do what I would like to do, which is basically expand, be able to save more dogs, be able to take in some more special cases. We get contacted a lot for fight busts. So every time there's a fight bust, we get contacted to take these dogs in, and I don't have, you know, a big long list of people who are willing to foster, you know, dogs, pit bulls or dogs in general right now. I don't have a ton of fosters. So in California or even here right now. So to be able to build a building, basically like a rehab building, which would basically give the dogs a place to go right away, and then we could put them through beginning obedience class and, you know, get them pretty much potty trained and stuff like that. Or dogs that need medication. We have trouble finding fosters for dogs that have issues like, not issues, but, you know, like mange, or they have some type of medical issue where they're going to need rehabilitation, or, you know, if they have any type of like lack of training, they're kind of crazy, run around everywhere, you know, they're super high strung because they just came out of a kenneled environment in the shelter where they haven't had training. Some of them aren't potty trained and stuff like that. So a lot of times we get a foster who wants to foster, but they want to foster a dog that is housebroken, that's going to get along with their dogs, that's going to be good with cats. You know, they have like a laundry list of what type of dog they can foster. So we can't just go to the shelter and pull out, you know, a random dog because we can only tell so much at a shelter.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to predict if that dog is great with all other dogs, you know, small and big and cats, and, you know, it's harder than people think. I can't just go, if you wanted to foster for me, I can't just go and pick a dog magically and promise you it's going to be amazing. So fosters sometimes will quit because that dog was too much or that dog wasn't what they wanted to foster. So with the building, it would help us because we would get a middle place for these dogs to land and basically put them through a beginning training class, put them through, you know, their rehabilitation that they need, and if they need medication and stuff like that, we can deal with that and then have like a building, have people come volunteer to help with that who want to help with that. And then once that dog is ready in, say, 6 weeks to 2 months or whatnot, that dog could possibly, hopefully, have a foster that could be matched with it. And it would be easier because we would have volunteers, hopefully, you know, doing hands-on volunteering at our property. We have an acre and a half, and we have this, it's huge to us. I mean, we have the space. We already had construction workers, a company, come out and give us a quote. And without the actual kennels inside, the full quote is $24,500, but to add the kennels in and to buy each kennel and stuff like that, it's going to be about $30,000. So, which I think is really not that expensive for what we're trying to do. I think that's like an amazing price. They're also they're donating $2,000 also worth of materials to us. It would be amazing. It would make everything a lot easier for us to do what we do and do it better, you know, because I can't take in a ton of dogs and, you know, not have a foster system set up. And then plus it would be so much easier to build our fosters up and to get more fosters because they could come and volunteer first and they could actually spend time with that dog, help that dog, and then if they like that dog and they already have a relationship with that dog, they're more likely to foster. And then we can take in another dog. That dog would stay in the building, you know, or on our property, and then again we would start that cycle again and hopefully get another foster out of that and then do it again. So it would build our foster program, and we would be able to save so many more. So I thought a lot of people would see that we're trying to, you know, basically build like a rehab center for these dogs, and I thought a lot of people would be really supportive of it because it's huge. I mean, for us, we moved 2,800 miles away. You know, we sold our original house that we loved because of the dogs. We wanted to expand. We wanted a place where we could build a building, and we've put so much into it ourselves already. You know, so it's crazy. I don't know if people just aren't seeing it. You know what I mean? Like,
Facebook does kind of screw people over the way that they've changed their algorithms, but I mean, it is unfortunate because so many people seem to be drawn to like for example, like a medical case or like a behavioral case of a dog that's in a shelter that has like a really extreme situation. The dog may be a good dog, and maybe a aggressive dog that has like a really bad behavioral mark on it, and people seem to be drawn to that. And not saying that's bad, but as they're doing that, just as the shelter as an example, there's so many other dogs, well-behaved, perfectly sound dogs that just sit there and go ignored because they don't have that story behind them. And I feel like a lot of that's kind of what's happening to you guys as well, because you're asking for the support, and the support's out there, and it's like these people would willingly throw money at a dog that has this story, but they're not gonna donate to someone who's just trying to you know, better their reality for their current dogs and for future dogs. Because I can speak about you. I've known you since really I've started Sway Love, and your rescue is awesome. Your rescue is an awesome rescue. You do it right. You're fantastic to the dogs. You check the homes out appropriately. You know, and not only that, but you advocate on the dog's behalf. You're one of the few rescuers in California that have been out there with me fighting BSL for the last year on the ground. And there's a lot of rescues out here, and you're doing that. You're doing that work. You're educated about the problems with it. You know how to offer solutions up. So I think it's foolish for people to overlook what you're trying to do, or to opt not to support because they feel like, well, you're doing it good already. You are doing it good already, but you can be doing it better because you can have more options at your disposal. And that's what we're trying to do, is to allow you to, you know, promote the fact that you want to build this barn so you can take in a few more dogs and give the dogs that you have better surroundings, just so you can better the entire environment. I think it's great, and people should be jumping to support it.
You know, I thought we would set up like a GoFundMe page, and then like all these people would just start donating a couple bucks, you know, and it's like, I did the math, and it's like we need a really small percentage of people to actually donate, and just $5, even $1. I mean, like, if a small percentage of our fans would donate just $1, even 50 cents, like, that's where it's hard for me to understand why it's been hard.
To just look at how many people have liked your page. You have over 200,000 likes, so just quick math, and I'll probably screw this up, but that's like 120, 50, 180. People could donate, like, every person that liked your page could donate a quarter, and you guys would be like over the 30K.
Part of the problem, though, I don't understand, people don't see it because we post the link to the GoFundMe, and then we get a lot of comments from people saying we should start a GoFundMe. And I'm like, that's the GoFundMe account. So it's like people don't see it. You know, I don't know if they just don't read it, or, you know, people are asking where they can donate, or they're not aware that we have an online store.
It's because you're working well already. It's like there's no problem story attached to you. You haven't like fallen into this situation where someone's calling you like a hoarder and dogs need to be moved or whatever. You're doing it right. You're doing it good. There's no problems. There's no drama. So it's like nobody pays attention.
In general, people don't understand how much it costs to run a rescue, and how much it costs to keep the dogs healthy and keep the dogs fed and keep the dogs, you know, happy in general, like enrichment activities and stuff like that. Like, you can't just put the dog in a cage, you know, and not take care of it. Like, it costs money. And if people would just understand how they care for their dog, hopefully they care for their dog,
Yeah.
the right way. But just vet visits and like anything. Like one of our dogs just split her nail, like one of the rescues split her nail open on her crate because she has separation anxiety. So we have to crate her when we're not home. And she cut her nail all the way open. I had to take her to the vet, and that was $450 for them to basically remove the nail because they had to put her under anesthesia and remove the actual nail because the quick was like, poking out and showing. And it's like, that is an unexpected vet visit that costs us money, and we have to pay for that. And it's like, people don't understand that, when you have dogs, and we have 10 rescue dogs, they're going to have accidents even though they're with us. They're going to have things like they have allergies. We have to take them in and get them their, allergy shots and stuff like that. They have to be on medication. I mean, it's not cheap.
I see it all the time when like there's a dog that is in the shelter, it gets pulled, it has a certain amount of support, a certain amount of funds, but as soon as it's pulled and then considered safe, all those people go away and they go to the next dog. And that's kind of like the vibe that I get here as well. So it's like, these dogs have been safe, but they didn't think that they're safe for forevermore. Like however many days longer that their life is going to be, they're with someone and there's no worries and they have no need for money and they have no need for donations, care. Everything's just going to be okay. And they're out of the shelter. They're not going to be euthanized. It's all good. And that's not you can't look at it that simplistic. Like you're taking on dogs, you still need support. You're doing it right, but you still need that support. So I would just say to people, consider supporting the people consistently that are doing it right consistently.
It's like people are seeing that we have 200 and something thousand fans, and I think that they probably just assume that when we say, hey, we need help, or hey, we're having a fundraiser, they probably assume that, a ton of those people are going to show up.
The way Facebook is working now is anytime you put a post out, it only hits a certain fraction of those supporters. So it's probably not even reaching the majority of your really dedicated supporters. They're probably not even seeing it. How many dogs has Change of Heart rescued, saved since you started, do you think?
I think definitely over 240. So we've had over 240 dogs, and that's crazy to me.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And last year we were a little bit slower than normal, but I mean that's because we were moving and we had all this stuff going on and we didn't have as much funding as usual. But it's definitely, this time next year I hope we have our building built, and I hope we're going to be doing big things. So, I mean, we're still working with the community, we're still doing the shelter stuff, and hopefully we'll be able to do, more than we've ever done.
It's going to work out. You're going to raise the money somehow. It's going to, it's going to work out. You're doing things right, and the universe will reward that in some way. I really believe that. So.